Greg, you know what time it is. It's time for Buy, Build, Sell. Today we are doing a foundation. I'm really excited about doing the foundations. One, I love watching concrete get poured. I love watching concrete get finished. Probably one of my favorite things about construction is just concrete in general. Let me go through what we're doing here today. So today we are in Pacific Palisades. We're on a street called Radcliffe. Ford trucks worth, call it just under 40 yards of concrete. We have the front slab done. We have the ADU in the back done. Right now you're looking at the big slab. Man, I don't remember any of the stats for this thing. Who cares? We're gonna be building an awesome home, okay? We have a big 2-story house here, a nice 2-story ADU in the back. We got a pool right to the right of me, which is the left of you. The truth is, here's the things you need to know about pouring a foundation. We already talked a lot about this, and you can reference the video right here to the Fisk Foundation. It's gonna give you a lot more of like the detailed information that I went through, but let's just briefly discuss it. The first thing we gotta do, we gotta dig our footings, we put in our rebar, then on this job what we did, we actually poured the footings. I thought we were gonna do a mono pour, but we ended up pouring the footings, okay? Then we bent the rebar over, backfilled all of our plumbing, got the gravel in, put the vapor barrier on. You remember that I did a little video on it. And that's basically just making sure that all of that water that comes up through the dirt and the ground hits that vapor barrier, goes back down, doesn't mess with any of the finishes that you have that you put on top of your concrete. Keeps the concrete dry. Once we do that, the rebar is done. On top of that, usually it's, I think it's 16 by 16. But every slab is kind of different. Sometimes they're 12 by 12, 16 by 16, 24 by 24. Different slabs call for different measurements. But basically, once that's done, concrete gets poured on top. We need to make sure there's a U for ground. I'll show you what that looks like right now. This is right here is the U for ground. This is where the grounding all goes. In case there's any electrical issues, that this rod will ground it so that way it's not electrocuting anybody else. It all gets electrocuted here. And we need to make sure that we're finishing it appropriately. One of the biggest things that happen is you'll pour a slab and you'll get big humps in it, or you'll get waves because of the way that they're finishing it, the way the trowel is working. So what you see right now behind me, that guy right there, that's Tio. In Spanish that means uncle. I have no idea what his real name is, but I've been calling him uncle for over 10 years, easy. And if you talk to him, he'll be like, yeah, I know Jason since he was a kid, because I've been doing this since I was 20. 19 maybe, I don't remember exactly. But so right now, Tio is troweling the concrete and making sure it's nice and level. We use different markers for how to make sure that we're trying to elevate everything appropriately and get it as clean and smooth as possible. Consider this for a moment, okay? Imagine you have this straight line, right? Then you have divots somewhere, anywhere, okay? Then you're putting wood on top of it, and then one side is a little low, one side is a little high. A 1/4 inch per foot makes a big difference. It makes it really hard to frame things out. All of a sudden you thought that, oh, it doesn't matter, it's just a slab of concrete. It's actually going to affect the framing majorly. So once the actual form and the foundation is all done, the most important thing you want to make sure is that your slab is going to be as level as possible, because you want to make sure that your framing and everything has a solid foundation to sit on that's level or plumb. That way nothing is out of the whack or out of the ordinary, because if you start at the bottom wrong, the top is going to be wrong too. Everything follows suit. Thing we do, we're also checking all of these forms, right, to make sure when we're setting them that we're putting the elevation markers on them, making sure that everything around, that this wood is all at the same location. So the next thing you want to make sure is to make sure that all of these locations where all the concrete is poured up against it, everything's as clean as possible, that we don't have any hips or bumps or anything like that. And we just check that. And it's the most important thing. I would say about the first 8 inches or so is the most important thing to look out for. And check to see if you can see any humps. But especially on a smaller slab like this, you're not going to see too much. You'll have more dips on a bigger slab because usually it's hard to screed in a bigger span. So I'll show you really quickly also. Running any underground mechanical when you're doing a slab is really important. It's annoying when you got to cut concrete to put mechanical underneath. So we always try to make sure we're running electrical wherever we may need it, and we're running plumbing wherever we may need it. So that's what you'll see right there. So that's the kitchen island. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you learned something. Let me know what you learned in the comments. If you like this video, go ahead, press that like button. That lets other people know just like you that they might like this video also. Guys, appreciate your time. We'll see you on the next video.